Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to Dreamworks Switch to Life. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing all of Dreamworks' upcoming projects that we know of as of November 2023. And yes, this is coming out a few days before November, but that's for specific reasons that I'll get into later. So without further ado, let's start the video. So the first movie that we know about is Trolls 3 Band Together, which will be released worldwide on November 17th. However, the main reason that I'm releasing this video early is because we know that there's going to be an early screening on November 4th in some theaters. Now, of course, that does mean that if I had waited, you would have only had a 1-day notice, so I waited till you got a 1-week notice. So, you're welcome. To recap, Band Together will have an early screening on November 4th, but it will be released worldwide on November 17th. The next movie that we know about is Kung Fu Panda 4, which we don't have a trailer for it yet, but I feel like we're going to get one when Trolls Band Together releases in theaters. So, we gotta wait till then. Anyway, it's going to be released on March 8th, 2024, and spoilers ahead, but the plot is as follows. Po is destined to become the next spiritual leader of the Valley of Peace, but in order to do that, he has to train a new dragon warrior, and he finds a promising young student in Zhen, a fox con artist who just so happens to be played by Awkwafina. And the main villain of this movie is the sorceress, or a chameleon, and she has the power to shapeshift into Po's former adversaries, including Tai Lung, Shen, and Kai. And for those of you who may not know, Kung Fu Panda 4 is actually just the start of the Master Trilogy, so eventually we're also going to get a Kung Fu Panda 5 and 6, but those don't have release dates, so don't worry about them. Our next movie is one that Dreamworks themselves aren't really making, but it is based off of one of their properties, and that is the live-action How to Train Your Dragon remake, which is set to come out on March 14th, 2025. However, there is some problems here. Due to the fact that production was supposed to begin on June 30th, and it was delayed due to the writers and actors strike, which the writers strike is over, but the actors strike is still going on. That means that production for this movie hasn't even began, which means that the film could very well be delayed. And honestly, I hope it's delayed, because if they rush this movie to be released, then it's just gonna come out as low quality CGI or something like that. And that's it for all of our theatrical movies that actually have release dates, but we're not done with the movies yet. Coming to Netflix at some point in 2024 is a new animated movie called Orian and the Dark, which is being made by Dreamworks Animation. Now, the plot is as follows. Orian is your typical kid, except he's scared of everything. The thing he's most afraid of is the dark. So, what do you think happens when the literal embodiment of the dark meets up with him? Well, he's whisked away on an adventure, and he learns to not be afraid of everything. Sadly, that's all we know about this movie, but we do have confirmation that we're going to get some kind of announcement about it during Netflix Geeked Week. In case you are wondering, Geeked Week is when a bunch of shows and movies on Netflix get some sort of announcement, and it's going to take place this year on November 6th to November 12th. Now, this could just be a teaser trailer or something as small as a release date, but we actually have a second show that's going to be sponsored by Geeked Week, and that is Jurassic World Chaos Theory. Yes, Jurassic World is not a Dreamworks property. However, Dreamworks is working on an animated TV show for Jurassic World. This Chaos Theory TV show is going to serve as a sequel series to Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, another TV show that Dreamworks worked on. We know very little about this series aside from the fact that it will take place after Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Darius will return as the main character, and above all else, it's going to be released at some point in August or September 2024, that kind of time frame. As I have said, new information about this Jurassic World Chaos Theory will be released during Geeked Week. However, even though Orion and the Dark and Jurassic World Chaos Theory are the only ones confirmed to show up for Geek Week, they might not be the only things that show up from Dreamworks Animation. Maybe we could see our first look at the new TV series, Mighty MonsterWheelies, which is based off of Universal Pictures' classic monsters, and maybe there will be some TV show renewals announced for Netflix. One of the ones that we definitely know is coming is actually going to be before Geeked Week happens on November 6th. We're going to get a holiday-focused episode of Gabby's Dollhouse. And please note, this is just a single episode. Whether it's a double-length holiday special or just a new episode in one of the future seasons is unknown. What is known is that the episode will be released on November 6th. Along with this, we have confirmation that Gabby's Dollhouse has been renewed for up to 100 episodes, which means that it's going to become DreamWorks' longest-running TV series ever. Unfortunately, we don't know when Season 9 or any of the future seasons are going to be released, but hey, at least you got a single episode to look forward to this month. Along with this, we have confirmation that Go! Season 4 has been renewed and is going to be released on November 27th, 2023. In terms of a trailer, there isn't one right now, but I will leave a link in the description when we get one. Hopefully, it will be during Geeked Week, but again, I'm not really holding my breath for that. We also have confirmation that Diaries Season 2 has been renewed for release in 2023. But unfortunately, there is the slight issue of it not being featured and the marketing for Geeked Week. So again, I think that we're not going to see Diaries until December. Now, in my last video, I said Not Quite Narwal was renewed for Season 2 in 2023. And while Not Quite Narwal is still renewed for Season 2, it's not going to be released until 2024. So sorry for that misinformation. One thing that I really hope will be featured in Geeked Week, however, is a brand new trailer for The Bad Guys, A Very Bad Holiday. The trailer hasn't been dropped, but a release date has been for November 30th on Netflix. And I really am looking forward to this, but just so you know, it will not have the cast from the original movie. They're being replaced by brand new actors. However, from what I've seen, it looks like they'll keep the same animation style, just a little less high quality. One thing that I know we can look forward to is Gillman Teenage Kraken, which will be streaming on Netflix at some point in around February 20, which, if you didn't know, the reason that is the case is because DreamWorks has made a contract with Peacock and Netflix that Peacock will stream their movies for 4 months after their theatrical release, and then they will go to Netflix for 10 months, then return to Peacock for another 4 months. Currently, you can find the movie streaming on Peacock, but if you want to wait, you can wait till it drops on Netflix on February 20th, 2024. It's a good movie, not great, and I'm going to leave my review of it down below in the description if you want to check it out. But without further ado, I think that's it for upcoming Netflix projects, so let's talk about what's leaving Netflix. Due to licensing restrictions, Netflix, despite having the shows be made as Netflix original series, is not the owner of the DreamWorks TV shows, and eventually they will leave the streaming service. This has already happened with Turbo Fast, VeggieTales in the House, and its sequel series, VeggieTales in the City, not to mention the Mr. Peabody and Sherman show. While you can't find any of these shows streaming anywhere at the moment, you can still buy them. However, there is also the possibility that the next show to be removed is going to be Dawn of the Croods, and while we still don't have a renewal date, I do believe that's going to be the next show that's removed. With all that out of the way, it's time to move off from Netflix and straight to Peacock. So, great news, we have confirmation that Season 8 of The Croods Family Tree is going to be released on Peacock and Hulu on November 9th, 2023. It is also going to have 7 episodes in the entire season. While we haven't heard from an official source yet, I do believe that this will in fact be the final season of The Croods Family Tree. See, for two reasons. First, the trailer says that the crews are going out with a bang, and it's also giving off series finale kind of vibes. But at the same time, this series has also now reached 52 episodes when this thing releases. And 52 is usually the signal that a Dreamworks TV show has reached its end. Usually, but not always. I believe the same thing can be said about Dragons the Nine Realms Season 8. We don't have a release date for it yet, but when it eventually does drop, most likely in December 2023, it will most likely be the final season. It will also have a total of 6 episodes, and sadly, we don't have official sources, so this is just purely speculation on my part, so take that information with a grain of salt. And now, for the first time ever, we actually have a new series for renewal, that being Fright Crew Season 2. Unfortunately, since Season 1 literally just dropped this month, I don't think that we're going to see it anytime soon. However, if it's anything like Abominable the Invisible City, I think Season 2 will have another 10 episodes, and we could see it as early as March. But unfortunately, that's just speculation, and we might actually end up waiting until October for Season 2, which I would not mind. And sadly, there's also no confirmation that Season 2 is even happening, so just take this information with a grain of salt. Speaking of Abominable the Invisible City, which is now officially a year old, we still don't have any confirmation for Season 3. In fact, the way I see it, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Abominable and the Invisible City was canceled behind the scenes and just was not meant to get a Season 3. But again, that's just speculation, but since it hasn't happened yet, I'm not holding my breath for a Season 3. We also have 2 brand new TV shows that are being developed exclusively for Peacock, not Hulu, mind you, and that is Megamind's Guide to Defending Your City. This will serve as a sequel to the 2010 movie, and it will be released at some point in 2024. Now, unfortunately, we don't know when, we don't know who the cast is, we don't know what the animation looks like, we don't know anything about this series at all. However, we also know that a live-action Casper series is being developed, and this will not be the first time DreamWorks has worked with Casper, but it is going to be more so of a horror-focused series than anything. And unfortunately, while we do have confirmation it's coming to Peacock, we don't know much else about this series, but unfortunately, that's everything we have for Peacock, so it's time to move to the next streaming service. The only news that we have for Apple TV Plus today is a new TV show, Curses, is coming out, well, today. We don't know how many episodes it has as of the time of recording this video, but you can go and watch the series right now if you want. If you're wondering if this show will be renewed for a second season, I think it will be, but because it's not even out with the first season yet, don't expect a second season for a long time. We also have confirmation that a new TV show called rbrick, based off of a series of collectible toys, is being made for Apple TV Plus. The first season will have 13 episodes, but unfortunately, we still don't have a release date. The only other Apple TV Plus show worth mentioning is Pinecone and Pony, which is currently streaming 2 seasons with 16 episodes. I believe a Season 3 is coming, but we still don't have an actual release date for it, so take that with a grain of salt. And with that, it's time to move on beyond the TV shows. Our first video game on the list is Trolls Rescue Remix, which actually releases today. I've left a link to the trailer in the description down below in case you guys want to look at that. But just in case you are wondering, the trailer was actually released the day before the game was released. I don't know about you guys, but that's just bad marketing in my opinion. There's also the video game Dreamworks All-Star Kart Racing, which releases next week, and despite it being a crossover video game with Dreamworks characters, there is still no trailer whatsoever. I'm using leaked gameplay footage here. If you ask me, this is the worst marketing I have ever seen from Dreamworks, ever. Both games are currently available for purchase, both digitally and physically, on pretty much every console. And the base game of Dreamworks All-Star Kart Racing has 8 characters you can play from the start, with the remaining 12 being unlockable later on through gameplay. And unfortunately, we still don't know who the final 5 characters are. And that's it for the video game, so let's move on to the final announcement, The Prince of Egypt, the musical, which is actually a musical based off of the 1998 film made by Dreamworks Animation, and the release of this musical coincides with the 25th anniversary of that film. The musical was filmed and turned into a movie, which will be released on something called Broadway HD on November 15th. If you don't know what that is, you are not alone. And the good news is that it's also going to be made available to rent and buy on any digital streaming service like Amazon, Apple TV, you name it. And its release date is December 5th, 2023. So there you have it. That is every single DreamWorks project that we know DreamWorks is working on as of November 2023. So without further ado, here's the recap. Releasing today, we have a new show on Apple TV Plus, Curses, and we also have the new video game, Trolls Remix Rescue. The week after is another video game, DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing. Then, on November 4th, the day after that, we have an early screening of Trolls Band Together, which will actually be released worldwide in theaters on November 17th. We also have Gabby's Dollhouse Christmas special, which will be coming to Netflix on November 6th. And then there's the Croods Family Tree Season 8, which may possibly be the final season, coming to Peacock and Hulu on November 9th. We also have The Prince of Egypt, the musical, which will be released on Broadway HD on November 15th, then available to buy and rent pretty much anywhere you want, starting December 5th. We also have Go Dog Go Season 4, which will be coming to Netflix on November 27th, 2023. And at the end of the month, we have The Bad Guys, A Very Bad Holiday, coming to Netflix on November 30th. We also have DreamWorks' next movie, Kung Fu Panda 4, which will be coming out on March 8th, 2024. And then a year after that, we have the live-action How to Train Your Dragon remake coming out on March 14th, 2025, if it's not delayed. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and be sure to comment down below what project you are most excited about. Be sure to like and subscribe so you can keep up to date on all things DreamWorks, and above all else, make sure you're staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in my next video. Until then, bye-bye.
Breaking every bone in my body didn't slow me down.